Hi there, this is Crystal, and today I am working in my 2019 Project Life album using the brand new Big and Small kit from Brandy Kincaid for Feed Your Craft. I have all of the kit here, including the stamp and the cut apart sheet, as well as some other goodies from Feed Your Craft, and I'm super excited to use this for the first time. This is a spread from April. You can see I only have 3 photos, so that gives me lots of space to add some of these fun elements. And even though there are only 3 photos, I do have some stories to tell to go along with them. So I need lots of space for journaling. This is, I think, around the 11th and 13th of April, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna go. I'm just gonna play around with the kit and see how it works out. So I'm going to start by going through the cards and just picking out some that might work on my spread. I know I want to use these big and small cards for the stories on the left side of the spread, and I know I want to use this gorgeous geometric floral. And then I choose this kind of Venn diagram one, and it doesn't end up staying. You'll see here in a second that I decided to do some stamping instead. So I decided to test some inks to figure out which ones would work best with the colors in this kit. So I've pulled out all the inks I have in 5 of the colors that are in these cards, and I'm just testing them out. So I'm starting with the pinks. The first 2 that I'm testing are from Hampton Art. They are dye inks. They're really inexpensive sets that I think I got at Walmart. They don't have color names on them, so I can't tell you exactly what color they are. But I don't end up going with either of those. I tested a Color Theory Pink Lemonade. That's the one I'm going to go with. And then that last one was Angel Pink from Memento. For the greens, I'm starting with a really old chalk ink pad from American Crafts in Leaf. Then I also have a Color Theory in Yes Peas. And finally, I'm testing a Stampin' Up! One in Old Olive. For the kind of corally salmon color, I only have one to test. This is Peaches ink from A Beautiful Mess. And it matches fine, so I'm going to go with that. I chose the Leaf ink for green, and now I'm going to try one of to try and match the kind of cobalt blue that's in these cards. I started with another one from Hampton Art, and then I'm also trying one from Hero Arts. This is Cornflower, and that's the one I'm going to end up going with. And then finally, for the teal colors that are in this kit, I have quite a few to test. This is one of my favorite colors, so I have lots of ink in this color. I'm starting with one from Hero Arts in Sea Glass, and that's a dye ink. And then I have another one from Hero Arts in Soft Pool, also a dye ink. The next one is another one of those Hampton Art really inexpensive pads. It doesn't have a name again. And then I have a Versamagic chalk ink. That one is Turquoise Gem. This is one of my favorite inks of all time. I just love the color of it. And then I have another Versamagic chalk ink in Sea Breeze. And it takes me a minute to decide which one of these I want to use. Again, I'm going to pick up the card and hold it up to it and decide which one works best. I think I end up going with Soft Pool from Hero Arts. Yes, that's the one I'm going to go with. So those are the inks that I've chosen to work with that kind of match the kit best from what I have in my stash. And I'm taking this cardstock that I've been testing inks on, and I have a little template that's a 3x4 card. And I'm just drawing a light pencil line around it so I can start stamping. I want to do some typing on this, so I've left it on the full sheet so it's easier to add some typing later on. But I also want to do some stamping. So I want to do my stamping first so I know exactly where my typed journaling should go. And I'm just deciding how I want it laid out and what colors I want where. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just taking a minute to make sure that I stamp the right thing in the right color in the right place on this card. But I'm using a phrase stamp that came in the kit that says just a little list, and I've stamped that at the top, and then I'm going to use the number stamps and stamp them down the left side of the card so that I can do some journaling next to that. You can see that Leaf ink it stains the stamp so bad. Everything was green when I was done with this card, but it's okay. It doesn't bother me when my inks or my stamps are stained. It's just something I guess you kind of have to live with, especially if you use certain inks that tend to stain a bit worse than others. But So I've used the cornflower ink to stamp the number 1, and then I'm stamping the number 2 in the peaches ink, and I'm going to stamp the number 3 in that soft pool, just to kind of bring all the colors of this kit to this card. And there it is, it's all done. I have added my journaling, I've gone away to my typewriter and added a little bit of journaling there, and I've also journaled on those 2 cards from the kit, the one with the big and small. And now I'm just going to start embellishing. So I have some of the things from the cut apart sheet. I've cut out a few of them already, and I'm going to cut out a few more here as we go. I'm working on this 4x6 card on the bottom right, so I don't really have any more journaling to add there. It's basically going to end up as a filler card. I really just wanted that pattern in this spread just because it's so beautiful. And I'm also trying to figure out what else I can do with this card I've done my journaling on and stamping, because it just looks a little plain to me. So I've cut out one of the arrows from the cut apart sheet, and I'm going to end up adding that just below the just a little list. And I had to move it over to the right because the arrow would only fit pointing one direction, and I didn't want it pointing to the spine of my book, so I decided to just switch it with the photo so it was pointing to the photo it's mostly referring to. And then I'm going to add another stamp to the bottom. The only color I hadn't used was the pink, so I added it and used the Here For It stamp there at the bottom of that card. And then I've just attached that arrow with a tape runner, and I will end up stapling it down here in a little bit as well. So the card was looking a little bit blank, like I said, and like it was just kind of floating there. So I decided to add some sketchy lines around the outside of it, just to give it a bit of a border and make it feel a little bit more grounded. The other journaling cards have those colored borders around the outside, and this one just looked like it was just floating there without anything holding it in place. So that line helped give it some grounding. So I've added a couple phrase bits from the cut apart sheet to the bottom of each of the cards on the left hand side, and now I'm just trying to figure out what else I can add. So I went to my stash to find some circle punches that would work for these little circle die cuts that are on the cut apart sheet, and I've decided to try a couple of them. So I really liked the yellow one, but I didn't have any other yellow on this page, and it just stood out like a sore thumb when I put it on the page. So I'm going to end up going with this pink one, and I've also added a little label there as a place to do a little bit more stamping. So I'm just looking through the stamp set, trying to decide which one I want to use in this spot. I'm going to end up going with one that says "Putting My Worry Away," and it will fit just in that label just perfectly. And I'm going to use some of that cornflower ink to stamp it rather than black. That just brings a little bit more color to the page. And then I can start assembling a little cluster here in the bottom corner of this card. So I have the die cut and my label with the stamping, and I'm going to add a little bit more stamping to the outside of the circle die cut. So I'm using one of the circle stamps from the kit. It says "Love These Little Moments," and I'm just manipulating the arc of the circle just a little bit so that it will fit exactly around this little circle die cut. And I don't do a great job of stamping this one. It kind of overlaps and there's a bit of a gap in the stamp. I could have done better, but oh well, it is what it is. Not everything has to be perfect. So it still works, you can still read it, and that's really what matters. So I'm going to come back to that because I'm not really sure what else I want to put in that cluster. And I'm going to work on the photo that's just above it. So my journaling did not really cover what's happening in this photo. Not that there's anything major happening, but there is a little bit of a story behind it. So I thought I'd just use one of the labels from the cut apart sheet to do some journaling just in my own handwriting right here on the photo, and then it'll also kind of cover up that pile of stuff that's in the dressing room next to me. So I also decided that there's no sense in throwing away all those hearts that I stamped, so I'm going to cut out a few of them, just fussy cut them out of that paper that I stamped them on, and I'm going to add them to the spread in a couple places. So I cut out the blue one, the cornflower blue one, and I'm going to add that to the bottom of this label where I am writing my journaling just now. And then I also cut out a green one, and that's going to go in in the cluster that I put on that bottom card as well. So I'm just going to glue those down, and then I am going to bring out my tiny attacher here in just a minute and add some staples to those as well. But before I do that, I decided to cut out one more heart, since I do like to do things in threes. So I cut out the one that's in that peaches ink, that kind of corally salmon color, and I'm going to add it to the photo on the left-hand side of the spread in the top left corner. I'm just working out exactly where to put it. I find a little empty space in my photo, so I'm going to add it there. And then I'm also going to add another one of the little word strips from the cut apart sheet. It's a little gray one that says "More, please." I'm just going to glue both of those directly onto my photo. The page is still looking a little blank and a little bit flat to me, so I decided to grab some of the puffy stickers that Elise was kind enough to send me in my kit this month, and I'm going to add a few of those. I actually try a few of the little plus signs in a couple different places, but I just couldn't get them to work quite right. The colors were right, and the size was right, but it just didn't look right to my eye. So I add a few of those, but I end up taking them back off, and then I'm just going to keep the one little circle puffy sticker that I added to that bottom cluster. It's a little kind of pie chart looking circle puffy sticker with 3 different colors, and I added it next to the little green heart that I fussy cut, and that's going to stay there, but the rest of these are going to come back off in the end. And that's just about going to do it for this spread. I do grab my tiny attacher and add a few staples here and there. And then off camera, I do end up adding a couple more embellishments that you'll see in the close-up photos. I add a little stamped phrase on the picture of me in the dressing room next to that label, and then another little arrow on my journaling card, and then that's really it. So there are lots of close-up photos coming up, and if you haven't already picked up this kit, there are links to it in the description below. You don't want to miss out on this one. I have a feeling it's not going to last, so be sure to head over to the shop and grab one if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found some inspiration. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will be sure to get back to you. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel so that you get notifications when I upload new videos. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up as well. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all back here very soon.